Hello friends. Today we are discuss topic number 9, depository system. I myself Paresh Sangvikar, BYK College of Commerce. In previous two videos, we have already learned about what is meant by depository system, what are the importance of the depository system, what are the drawback of paper system, or we can say that there is an old system. In this video, we are focused on some concepts, some terms which are related with the depository systems. In these concepts, basically depository systems are related with the conversion. So the concepts which are related to the depository, it is again depends upon the securities. In this video, we are discussing about the dematerializations. What is meant by the dematerializations? Rematerialization, meaning and importance, fungibility, international security identification number, which are these four concepts are very much important in practice. Most of the paper setter always choose these concepts for the papers. Let's see one by one. What is meant by dematerialization? Dematerialization is a process of converting physical form into the electronic form. It means that the paper format of security is converted into electronic format. For that purpose, the investor has to open a demat account. Nowadays, without demat account, no investors can invest or withdraw their securities from the capital market. So demat account is one of the most important account for the purchasing and selling of the security. The investor has to surrender the certificate along with the demat request form from DP. Whenever one of the investor want to convert their physical form into electronic form, the investors have to surrender the physical form, because that physical certificate, if you don't surrender, then your physical certificate never be converted into the electronic format. So whatever applications are received from the investor, the DP forward this all the forms to the depository, and after to the issuer. Issuer means here the company which are want to issue the securities. After confirmation from the issuer, the depository credited the securities in the demat account with DP. Whenever companies sanction, already we have learned in the previous chapter of issue of shares, whenever company gives the allotment, then your shares are sanctioned. It means that after the confirmation, the issuer, here issuer is a company, the depository will credited the security in the demat account. This demat is an easy process. It is not a time consuming process. Also, dematted securities have no distinct number because they are fungible. Next, rematerialization. It is the process of conversion of electronic form into the physical form. It is a vice versa concept of dematerialization. In dematerialization, physical form converted into electronic. In rematerialization, the electronic form of securities are converted into physical certificate. Here, the investor has to give return request. We can say that application in the form of remat request form to the DP. For the purpose of the electronic records are converted into physical or paper securities. This is the reverse process. It is a secondary process. Then the DP, depository participant, forward these forms to the company and the depository. The company checks all records. After confirmation of all records, the issuer prints the certificate and send them to the investors. The depository via the DP debit account of investors with the securities, because electronic in the electronic process, the investors not required, so that it is debited. In the previous dematerialization, it is credited. But the remat is a time consuming process. It is also a complex process. It is not so easy. So most of the investors are always prefer the demat process rather than the remat process. Let's discuss what is the difference between the dematerialization and rematerialization. Dematerialization, it is the process where the paper format converted into electronic format. So we can say that it is an initial process. And whenever one of the investor want a physical certificate, then it is a reverse process. Dematerialization is a primary and principal function of depository, because it's the aim of a depository that the process should be easy, It should not be a time consuming process. So that's why it is a functions of a depository systems. In rematerialization, it is a secondary function. First function is a dematerialization. If one of the investors wants, then they have performed the secondary functions, rematerialization. Because every investor has his own choice, whether they want to go with the electronic process or whether they want to go for the physical process. The dematted securities have no distinct number. Already we have seen in chapter number 3, issue of shares, the equity shares have a distinct number. So we can easily identify the distinct number. But due to the electronic process, there is no distinct number because all the transactions are going on with the unique code system. In rematerialization, remitted securities have a distinct number because they already converted the electronic format into physical format, and physical share certificate has a distinct number. Depository is a custodian of the security, just like a bank. The issuer company is the custodian of the security. In case of rematerialization, issuer company has taken all the rights. That company is a custodian of the security. Even though it is same issue by the company, but in case of dematerialization, here the depository is the custodian. In dematerialization, it is an easy process. You can just mail to the company can convert your shares, they can credit the dividend, they can credit the bonus, they can credit the right issue shares, because it is an easy process. In case of rematerialization, it is a time consuming process because we have to follow the rules, as well as there is a matter of sending of later information from one person to another person, one office to another office. So this is the difference between the dematerialization and rematerialization. Fungibility. Fungibility means the state of being interchangeable. Some assets are fungible, some are not fungible. What is mean by that? Suppose land in Maharashtra has a unique quality. Land of Gujarat has a unique quality. Land of Kashmir has a unique quality. So every land is not in same process, same effort, same charge, same rate, so that land is not fungible. It is depend upon the quality, unique of that particular area. Currency note is fungible because it can be easily changeable. Every 100 rupees note is same value. Every 2000 rupees note, same value. Every 500,000 rupees, 500 rupees notes have same value in everywhere in India. Applicable to the securities. The securities held in demat form are fungible because they are interchangeable. The share have a same value, same rights, same amount. They do not have distinct number, so certificate or folio number. So that's why it is fungible. It is same as everywhere. Share of, for example, share of Reliance. If one of the persons have purchased the share of 100 rupees, second one also purchase of the 100 rupees. Their rights are same. Ownership is same. It is called a fungibility. International Securities Identification Number. It is an identification number where the code is given to the security of the company at the time of admitting security in depository system. We can take an example, easily say that there is a mobile number. Mobile number nowadays, it is a unique number. It cannot be repeated. ISIN is allotted by that country's NNA, National Numbering Agency. This agency has allotted the ISN number. ISN is a standard number system which is accepted globally. In international levels also there is no repetitions. The ISO, what is mean by ISO? International Organization of Standardization defines ISN structure. This is SEBI. NNA means National Numbering Agency. NSDL, ISIN to the securities. And ISIN by RBI, it is government securities. ISIN consists 12-digit alphanumeric code which can be divided in 3 parts. First part is IN. IN means India. The company has to apply for ISIN for the security with document like prospectus. It is a unique number, international number, so that the foreigners outside investors can also invest their money into that securities. Depository in India. Basically, after the establishment of the depository system in 1996, there are 2 depository systems in India. NSDL and CDSL. NSDL stands for National Security Depository Limited. CDSL stands for Central Depository Services Limited. NSDL, it is the first and largest depository in India. It was established in November 1996. It is promoted by IDBI, Industrial Development Bank of India, UTI, Unit Trust of India, and NSE, National Stock Exchange of India. These three units are promoted the NSDL, National Security Depository Limited. Its headquarters in Mumbai. NSDL is a public limited company registered under the Company Act. This statement is one of the most important statement for true or false. NSDL is a private company. NSDL is a public limited company. NSDL is a single man company. They can use that statement anywhere. NSDL provides the services to the investors like stock exchange, bank, issuer, clearing, members, like that. NSDL render the services like dematerialization, rematerialization, dividend distribution, nomination, and etc. Then CDSL, the Central Depository Services Limited. It is started working in February 1999. It was promoted by the Bombay Stock Exchange jointly with several banks like SBI, Bank of Baroda, Bank of India, etc. It has also a headquarters in Mumbai. CDSL has wide DP network and offer the demat services similar to the NSDL across the country. Thank you very much. Here our 9th chapter was completed. I hope you understand all the terms and conditions in this video.